Hello, are you ready to learn for today?
Our lesson, which is all about solving problems involving angle of elevation and depression. So in this lesson, we will try to have a different real life situation wherein we apply the idea of angle of elevation and depression. But syempre, kailangan mo maintindihan muna natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng dalawang angle na ito. Ayan. So I have here a boy wherein he is looking at an airplane and also a basket below. And on this diagram, it shows us different blank boxes that we can fill in. So I have here the word boxes. So if you want to answer, you may raise your hand.
But, lagyan ko muna ng number. So, ito yung box if you want to answer number 1, number 2, ito gawin natin to number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So, you just need to choose ano doon sa mga numbered blanks natin or boxes kung saan natin ilalagay yung mga words na nakalagay dito sa word box. Yes, Kyra.
So number 1 po, sir, line of sight po.
Number 1, so
Number
line.
one, so
Line of sight. Okay, very good. That's correct. Ayan, so broken line, papunta doon sa airplane natin. That's gonna be our line of sight. Yes, Reynalyn.
Yung number 5 po is object.
Number 5 is object. Yan. Yung nasa taas natin. That's an object. Yes, Anshirina.
Yung number 3 po, angle of elevation.
Number 3. So this angle is formed using the horizontal. Remember, our angle of elevation and depression will always be coming from a horizontal line going to the line of sight. It is the angle between those two given lines. The horizontal is also the line of sight. So pag nasa taas yung object is the angle of elevation. Yes, Yonse.
Number 4 po, angle of depression po.
Very good. So kung number 2 ang angle of elevation, itong angle na na-form naman sa horizontal line natin and the line below is gonna be our angle of depression. Yes, King.
Number 6 po, object.
Number 6 is an object. Very good. It is the object below our horizontal line. How about number 2? Ang pinakamahirap. Anong sagot natin dyan? Yes, Crystalline.
Line of sight.
Very good. It's gonna be the line of sight. Napakahirap na siya na lang kasi yung natira.
Anyway, as we may continue, let's somehow arrange these scrambled words to somehow decode the letters and identify the term being defined on each item. So for the first one, ito yung ating word or group of words. It is defined as the imaginary line that connects the eye of the observer to the object being observed. So it is like the broken lines that connects the eyes of the observer dun sa object natin. Anong tawag natin dyan?
Line
Sige.
of sight po.
Line of sight. Is it correct? Very good. That's gonna be our line of sight. Yan yung broken lines natin na nagko-connect dun sa mata natin. Kaya siya line of sight doon, papunta doon sa ating given object. So pataas yung ating line of sight kapag ang object natin ay nasa taas, pababa naman ito kapag ang object ay nasa baba. Now as we may continue, let's have another jumbled letters for this given group of words. It refers to the angle that is made between an observer's line of sight and a line horizontal to their eye when the object is being observed above the horizontal.
Angle of elevation.
Very good. So it's gonna be our angle of elevation. Sabi nga natin, we defined angle of elevation. Horizontal line. Tapos yung object nasa taas, yung angle na po-form with that horizontal line and also the line of sight, having the object is above is what we call the angle of elevation. And lastly, let's have this jumbled letters. It refers to the angle made between the observer's line of sight and a line horizontal to their eye when the object is being observed below the horizontal.
Angle of depression po, sir.
Very good. So it's gonna be angle of depression. I think hindi siya naayos. Oh. Ayun, gumagana pala siya. Angle of depression. Gets po? So, gagamitin natin yan sa lesson natin for today because later on we'll be having some situations about this following angle. Dapat alam mo kung paano natin or saan natin may locate yung ating angle of elevation and depression. At the same time, mamaya magkakaroon tayo ng exercise na kung saan dapat alam mo kung saan ilalagay yung angle of elevation and depression sa isang given situation. Proceed already with our first example. In this one, the angle of elevation of the top of the tree from a point is 15 meters away from its base is 15 meters away from its base is 66 degrees. Ayan, so find the height of the tree. So, first step for us is to draw and label the diagram. Ngayon, magiging mahirap to kung hindi mo pa sisimplihin muna yung kung ano yung dapat makita sa diagram na magagawa mo. So, always remember, at the end of you having the diagram, you should create a right triangle. So, based on the diagram pa lang, dapat makakagawa ka na ng right triangle. So, una, ano yung sinabi dito? Ano yung meron dapat doon sa representation mo? Yan, the angle of elevation of the top of a tree from a point 15 meters away from its base is 66 degrees. So, anong object yung dapat nandun sa drawing mo? Dapat may puno. 'Di ba? Kasi binanggit yung top niya, yung tuktok niya. And aside from that, there will be a point that is 15 meters away from this tree or from the base of this tree. So, point, pwede kang mag-drawing ng tuldok lang. Ayan, point. And then you can already label the distance between the base of the tree and also the point, which is 15 meters. Gets po? Ngayon tatanungin ko kayo, nai-imagine nyo na ba yung right triangle na pwedeng ma-form gamit yung point at saka yung puno na meron tayo? Yan. So, kapag na-imagine nyo na siya, that's one good indication na pwede natin magamit. Kasi, yung kulang na lang naman dito sa ating diagram aside from the right triangle is actually the angle of elevation which is 66 degrees. Wherein, pag kinonect mo yung ating point dun sa top ng ating puno or sa pinakatuktok ng ating puno, you'll create a line of sight. Yan, that is above our horizontal line. So that's gonna be the angle of elevation which is 66 degrees. Now, once na ma-construct mo na, pwede mo na siyang gawing right triangle and therefore, we can now solve for the missing part of the one that is asked on the problem. So here, it is said that we are looking for the height of the tree. Now, to solve for that one, we can represent the height of the tree as an unknown variable such as x. And then, gagamit tayo ng idea ng solving right triangle. So, we can represent x or the height of the tree as the opposite side because it is the side opposite our reference angle which is 66 degrees. And beside that 66 degrees is 15 meters which represents our adjacent side. So, babalik lang tayo sa lesson nyo ng Monday. You will choose between SOHCA and TOA. Ano yung gagamitin natin dyan to somehow solve for the value of x? Ayan, so you can respond on the chat box. Very good class. It's gonna be TOA, which uses the trigonometric ratio of tangent theta, which is equal to opposite over adjacent. TOA. So our given angle is 66 degrees. Therefore, we just need to substitute that 66 degrees to that given theta. And our opposite side is x. Therefore, and our adjacent side is 15. Therefore, it's going to be tangent 66 degrees is equal to x over 15. Now, to solve for the value of x, we can just cross multiply 15 to tangent 66 and input this one on our calculator, giving us an answer that is equivalent to, so type lang natin to, 15 times tangent 66 degrees. Sige, you can type your answers on the chat box. Yan, tangent 66 degrees and press equals. And this is around just like your lesson last or your examples last Monday. We'll be dealing with answers in 2 decimal places lang. So you round it off to 2 decimal places or to the hundredths place. Okay, the answer will be 33.69. And that's gonna be the value of x. Now, ano ba yung nire-represent ng value ng x na yan? That's gonna be the height of the tree. So our answer will be the tree is approximately 33.69 meters high. Gets po? Okay. So para ma-practice natin yan, let's have another example. Supposedly, you try to, pero try muna natin. On this given problem, it says that a coast guard spotted a ship in distress out at sea. The angle of depression is 14 degrees. Calculate the distance from the Coast Guard station to the ship if the station is at the height of 220 meters above the sea level. Yan, mamaya na natin intindihin yung angle of depression. First, ano ba yung mga present na object? Yes, ship at Coast Guard. Very good. O, sea. Tama, Jamie Lynn. Siyempre, meron tayong ship na nakikita. Nasaan yan? Nasa sea. O, pwede kang gumawa ng sea. O, anong lalagay natin dito sa sea? Ship. O, sige, lagay tayo dyan ng ship. O, Pwede na ba yan? Pwede na yan. Ay, lumulutang sa C. Angat natin onti yung C. Maarte, no? Okay. And then after that, ano yung pwede natin pang ilagay? Yeah, the Coast Guard. Nasaan ba yung Coast Guard? Nagsiswimming ba siya? Nung nakita niya yung ating, yeah, nasa station siya. So most likely, a station would probably ano yan, para lighthouse, di ba? Siyempre, para makita niya yung ship na in distress, nasa taas siyan banda ng isang lighthouse. O di gawin mo parang ganyan na lang, okay na yan, lighthouse na yan. Ikaw na bahala kung gusto mo pang lagyan ng design. O, tulungan niyo ako maglagay din kayo sa inyong mga notebook na katulad nito. And then after that, syempre lagay natin yung Coast Guard nasa taas. Ayan, na Coast Guard spotted a ship in distress. Ngayon, ang tanong ko, na-imagine nyo na ba kung saan mapupunta or ano itsura ng ating right triangle na mapo-form? O, di ba? So, ganun lang muna. Pero it doesn't need to be exactly what you think. It depends on the given now kung ano yung magiging itsura ng right triangle. Pero kahit papaano, at least may nai-imagine kang right triangle. That's a good start. And then after that, tsaka mo lalagay yung mga values. The angle of depression is 14 degrees. So, pag depression, saan manggagaling yan? From the horizontal line going down. Kaya ano ba dyan yung object or ano ba dyan or sino ba sa kanila dyan yung pwedeng magkaroon ng object na nasa baba? Is it the Coast Guard or the ship? Siyempre yung Coast Guard. So, gagawa ka ngayon ng straight horizontal line within that Coast Guard and then you create also a line of sight going to the ship kasi na-spot niya 'di ba? So going to the ship and that is where you will be putting that 14 degrees. Gets po? Oh, ayan. Ito yung mas magandang drawing, syempre. Nakita? Oh, ayan. So ngayon, meron kang dalawang choices ng right triangle. Ito, number 1, or ito, number 2. But ano yung gagamitin natin dyan? So gamit pa tayo ng isa pang value na binigay dun sa problem. The height of the station is 220 meters. So, ang height daw na to ay 220 meters. Now, since we have two choices, pwede ba na parehas lang naman yung triangle na tinutukoy doon? Pwede. Kasi sinabi sa video kanina that if you have this one as 14 degrees, that's gonna be your angle of depression. That's also equivalent or congruent with the angle of elevation if you are looking from the ship going to the Coast Guard. Bakit sila congruent? Because as you can see here, parallel yung dalawang horizontal line natin. And since parallel sila, parang parallel lines cut by a transversal lang yan, the alternate interior angles are congruent. So technically, you can have this right triangle below. Or pwede rin naman nasa taas, gawin mo lang tong 220 meters. Parehas lang naman yun. Makukuha mong itsura ng right triangle natin. Now, once you created the diagram and label its parts, now we can now identify what is missing or what is asked on the problem. We are asked to find the distance from the Coast Guard station to the ship. Ayan, so ito yon. Yung distance daw ng Coast Guard at papunta doon sa ship. Now, ano yung appropriate trigonometric ratio na pwede natin gamitin? That's gonna be considering the opposite side, which is 220, and the hypotenuse, which is the one missing. Yan, si x. So, we'll be using yan, So, that means sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Now, our given angle is 14 degrees. So, we just need to substitute that 14 degrees. That's going to be equal to 220 because that will be your opposite side and x will be your hypotenuse. So, 220 over x. Yan, ano ginagawa natin dito or ginagawa nyo dito from your previous lessons? Diba kapag ganyan yung itsura ng rational equation natin, pwede natin pagpalitin sila. Ayan, so we can solve for the value of x through dividing 220 over sine 14 degrees. Ano ang makukuha nating value niyan sa ating calculator? Ayan, so it's gonna be 909.38 degrees ba? Hindi. Kasi ang hinahanap natin is yung distance. So it is in meters. Therefore, we interpret it as the distance from the Coast Guard going to the ship is gonna be 909.38. Okay, let's have this given example. A flagpole 10 meters tall is on the level ground. It casts a shadow of 19 meters long. What is the angle of elevation of the sun? So, kailangan mo ng flag dito. So, flag. Pwedeng flag ng Pilipinas katulad ng ginawa ni Jamie Lynn, di ba? Then after that, it should cast a shadow. So, ilalagay natin syempre yung araw na kung saan pag nag-shadow yung flag dun sa opposite direction ng ating araw. 'Di ba? Ganun naman talaga yung logic kapag araw ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, we can label the following lengths as the height of the height of the flag which is 10 meters and the length of the shadow which is 19 meters. Gets po? Kung nagkamali kayo ng label, alam nyo na yung mga susunod yung babantayan. Kapag gumagawa ng diagram, intindihin mabuti kung ano yung mga binigay na values. And from there, we can already interpret that we can have a right triangle out of this one. And the angle of elevation, that is the one that we're looking for, is located here. So from the ground going to that line created by the sun. Yan. So that's gonna be theta. That's gonna be the one that we'll be solving. So opposite yung ating 10 meters, adjacent yung ating 19 meters. Therefore, ano yung sa apat ang gagamitin natin dyan? We'll be using TOA, which means tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Therefore, it's gonna be tangent theta is equal to 10 over 19. Dahil ang opposite natin ay 10 at ang adjacent natin ay 19. Yan. So, if you want to solve for the value of the angle, di ba, nililipat natin siya sa kabila. So, it's gonna be tangent raised to negative 1. Sa inyong calculator, shift tangent para mapalabas yan. So, arctangent 10 over 19 is gonna be equal to 27.76 degrees. Therefore, that is the angle of elevation of the sun. 26.76 degrees. Gets po? Ayan. So, a submarine starts on the surface of the ocean and dives diagonally at a distance of 890 meters. Before reaching to the bottom where the sunken statue is located, the statue is 867 meters deep from the surface of the ocean. What is the angle of depression from the surface to the direction of the statue? Okay, so let's see. This will be the diagram presented. Yan. So we have a submarine going diagonally to the to the sunken statue. So the length of that travel from the surface of the ocean going to the sunken statue, if you travel it diagonally, it's gonna be 890 meters based on the given problem. So the statue is 867 meters deep from the surface of the ocean. Now, if you are to identify the angle of depression, yan, that's gonna be the angle from the surface of the ocean going to the diagonal distance of the statue or diagonal direction of the statue. So, ano yung magiging solution natin dito? So, I think,
Para po makuha ng sagot is sin theta is equals to 867 over 890. Tapos, nilipat ko po yung sin sa kabilang value. Ano ko? Tapos, theta is equals to sin negative 1 over 867 ay 6 over 890. Tapos, yung naging final answer ko po is 76.95 degrees.
so ano yung 76.95 degrees na nakuha nating value?
Yung angle ko ng depression.
Okay, very good. So that's the angle of depression created from this horizontal or uh, the surface of the ocean, yun yung nag-serve as ating horizontal, going to the direction of the statue. Gets po? I hope you understand the lesson for today. Until next time, bye!